Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century. Happy Thursday, everyone, and thanks for checking in. Meteorologist Todd Nelson here, and we'll continue to see some gradual cooling, though we can't rule out a spotty shower into the afternoon as we still have some cooler air aloft. But warmer sunshine into Friday. Rain chances do continue this upcoming weekend and also into the middle part of next week. So that cool front that we had earlier this week has shifted east. But again, there are those isolated showers that may be developing. Gradual clearing, though, as we head into our Friday, other than maybe a couple of showers over the northern portions of the panhandle. The cooler air will still be with us through the remainder of the week, and we do warm up more so into next week. Time now for a Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home, and New York dealing with some of that same cool air into the 60s, but Chicago is going to be up to near the mid-70s by Saturday. That's the warmth that'll start to build in as we approach this upcoming weekend and beyond. So over the next couple of days through 7 p.m. Saturday, Panhandle might see a quarter of an inch of rain. Temperatures on Thursday into the 50s and 60s. Again, can't rule out some isolated showers into the afternoon. As we head east, much lighter amounts of rain. Pawpaw around 6/100ths of an inch. In Charlestown, less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. 50s and 60s for those daytime highs. And as we travel to the south and west, again, generally around 1/10 of an inch or less of total precipitation. Spencer 65, Middlebourne will be at 63, Harrisville at 63 degrees, and Clarksburg at 63. Farther south yet, rainfall tallies looking even lighter through that Saturday time period. Pineville will be at 65, some isolated showers into the afternoon. And Friday's looking drier and warmer, but here comes some additional rain chances on Saturday and Sunday, maybe even a rumble of thunder, and then we cool off a little more Monday, Tuesday.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Metro News Midday. This is the final hour of the show. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and text. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Welcome in to Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Thursday afternoon, Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia after 2:30, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Early voting continues in West Virginia. You got the rest of today, you got tomorrow, then you got Saturday, and then give the county clerks and officials time to regroup, and then Election Day, the primary election. Polls open 6:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, close at 7:30 p.m. According to at least one county clerk we talked to on the last show, Putnam County Clerk Brian Wood, it looks like turnout is very light. Everybody knew it was going to be, but to get out there, exercise your right to vote. I want to welcome to the show now Michael Jarrouj, who is a Republican running out of District 17. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you? Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. All right, so we've seen negative campaigns in the past.
Sure.
I mean, it's been here since TJ wrote about it, going back to the days of Thomas Jefferson. There has been negative campaigns.
Absolutely.
Don't know that there's been this kind of venom within a party, though, within one party. Now, who knows what there's not really a lot of Democrats, out there. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying it is what it is. But this Republican primary has been wild, vile in some people's words, and as somebody who, this is the first time you've run for office.
Absolutely,
right?
First time, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Were you expecting this when you
I
signed
wasn't
in?
expecting this. I mean, it's a campaign, so you're going to expect some stuff. But, you always think back to Reagan's 11th commandment.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not speak ill of a fellow Republican. But this is out of hand. This is absolutely out of hand, and I was not expecting this. Lost a lot of respect for people in the highest levels of power in West Virginia, to be honest with you. Yeah.
All right. So some of the things that have been said about you, and this is not just you, that there are other candidates
Absolutely.
as well. But talk about some of the mailers that have gone out against you specifically.
It's if it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. I mean, I'm a different cartoon character every day.
Yeah.
And, I am accused of basically being George Soros. Like, I'm the guy sponsoring liberal Democrats. And the story behind that is I sat at a soccer game with my family and a friend who's a county commissioner, and I gave them $200 back in 2020. They were talking about Shawnee and all these things, and $200, I'm a working man. I work 12 hours a day in my restaurant. $200 was a lot of money to me back in 2020, still a lot of money to me today, but $200. When my opponent, Ann Sharnock, has actually accepted $25,000 in contributions from Democrats alone. It's just, it's wild. And so they want to, our opponents don't really have a lot to say. We need to be focused on the economy, focus on bringing those jobs to West Virginia. We want to get our kids to come back home after college. These are the things that we need to be focused on. And when you don't have anything to say, you throw mud at your opponent. That's what you do. And that's all they have, and that's all they're doing. And it's sad.
And look, if they were attacking not just you, but others, if they were attacking on issues, okay, I get that, okay? But some of the things that have been said about several people around the state of West Virginia,
it's out of hand.
Talk about that and how,
some of these things have been blatantly racist, blatantly homophobic, and you couldn't imagine that they would stoop to those levels. And that's really a shame. That's surprising, actually, in West Virginia.
Talk specifically about some of the mailers that were sent out against you, and you allege that they tried to darken your skin and things of that nature. And talk about your background.
Well, they did, yeah. And, they come out with a different one every time, and it's a different, it's AI. They got my eyes, nose, and mouth. That's about it. And they did darken my skin, but that's okay. I thought my skin looked pretty good in those ads, actually. They filled in my hairline, and that was great, but, I don't think that's what they were going for. They put me next to Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Ilhan Omar, and all these people like I'm the guy that's causing all the problems, and they talked about my liberal record. I've never held office, so the only liberal record I own is Van Halen, 1978.
It's a good choice,
it was
by the
a
way.
good choice.
Very, very excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Absolutely.
But you're a restaurant owner. That's what you've done.
Yep.
I don't know how you have because you made a donation to someone that happened to be, I guess, a Democrat or whatever. How does that translate into you being?
Well, if you could tell me, then we'll both know. But that's what they cited as election records in 2020. So we look back at election records of 2020. I gave a $200 donation, and that's it. So they didn't have anything. They went with that, and that's what they've been going with the whole time.
And like another candidate that I had on the show the other day, he was saying the same things that you're saying. He was accused of being part of Black Lives Matter. He happens to have 2 kids that are African American, that are black, that are adopted.
Absolutely disgusting.
That goes to a different level, right?
And he's a heck of a guy, beautiful family, and we want to do good. We want to fight the good fight for West Virginia. That's what we're here for. We have jobs. Like I say, I work 12-hour days. I don't need a job, but this is coming out of the swamp, and the swamp asked me to jump into the swamp, and I said no. So the swamp came after me, and it came after Steve, and it came after Dr. Tom, and everyone. And it's time for, I think that West Virginians are better educated than that. They're not going to fall for it. They know what we're trying to do, and they've seen so much. It's gotten frustrating for people. They've seen so much of it.
You say the swamp came after you. Like like recruiting you?
Well, yeah. I don't want to get that deeply into that, but yeah, I was asked to, maybe get out of the race early on in the race, and I said no. I said, this is not what I'm doing this for a reason.
And what is that reason?
I don't want to visit my children 4 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours away. I don't want to go to Charlotte or Pittsburgh or Columbus. I want my kids to come back home. I have 4 children. I have one getting ready for dental school, one getting ready for law school, one's pre-med, an 11-year-old daughter, and I want them to come home. I want them to have those opportunities that we have in neighboring states. And we have that in West Virginia. It's a beautiful state. We have the natural resources. You know, we need to improve our education. We need to improve our job situation. And we need to bring the business back to West Virginia. And that's what we're all about. That's what we're after. Some people, that's not what they care about. They care about power, and they care about what they want to do in the future for themselves. And that's not what we are.
The governor yesterday, again, we're talking to Mike Jarrouj, who is a candidate for state senate. The governor yesterday was asked about it, and he said, look, he's got his First Amendment right, which I agree with. He can say what he wants to say and endorse whom he wants. Do you agree with that?
Governors should rise above, primary politics. I think that the person at the top should be more interested in preserving the integrity of the election rather than trying to dictate. There'll be time for that. There'll be time to support your party in the general election. I think you should let the chips fall where they may. Let the people make their choice, and that's what's important, I think, in a primary election.
It's going to make it, in my opinion, it's going to make it very difficult afterwards because look, I come from Southern West Virginia.
Sure.
Politics is rough. It always has been. But I think one of the differences was they used to beat the hell out of each other, in the primary.
Absolutely.
Or in the general for that. In the general for that.
Right.
The general. Let me back up there in the general. And then the next day, everybody would get together over a cup of coffee or a beer or whatever. And
politics.
And say, okay, you were able to beat us in this particular precinct. How'd you do it? Oh, well, here's what we did. And then the next election, the sides may have changed. This guy's on my side, this guy's on your side, whatever. I think we've gotten way beyond that.
Way beyond that. You go back to the days of when Ronald Reagan was president and Tip O'Neill, Speaker of the House, they would fight like cats and dogs. And at the end of the day, have a steak and a beer.
Mm-hmm.
When Reagan woke up after being shot, Tip O'Neill was sitting there saying a rosary. I mean, that's impressive. That's the way politics used to be. That's the way America used to be. We're all Americans, Democrat, Republican, whatever. But when you throw all your chips on the table like that, you reap what you sow.
And that's what as a taxpayer and as a West Virginian, not media personality, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. Is that at the end of this, I don't know that some of these maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm pessimistic. I don't know that some of these relationships will be able to be repaired. Yeah, if the things don't fall into place the way certain people want them. I mean,
well, you gotta hope for the best. But like I said, there's those of us that are working for a reason. We want to help West Virginia move forward. That's what's important in this race, not this out of town noise and garbage. That's and some of these folks, unfortunately, are bought and paid for, and that's a shame. But I guess in this day and age, that's what they call politics.
Well, and, out-of-state money has come in. It has been, for some time. It's gone to a different level, and people have said, look, as a text that we had to the show, somebody said, why do these out-of-state companies and these out-of-state PACs, why are they spending and TJ just keeps a running total of this about the out-of-state money for a job that pays, what, $20,000 a year?
There you go. And that's the thing. I'm a small business owner. We've established that. When somebody hands me money, when somebody hands me a fistful of money, they expect something in return. Whether it's goods or services or a loan paid back, but they expect something in return. What are these people selling? What part of West Virginia are we selling? What are they getting for that money? Because it's a lot of money. And you've mentioned, and TJ's mentioned some of these folks and Wall Street guys and with millions of dollars and putting hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million into these PACs. What do they expect in return? That's what should make West Virginians worry at night.
What is it that you want people to know about you and about the way that you have conducted yourself during this primary? Because I know it's had to be tough.
It's been tough.
I mean,
I was raised, my father always said, be the hero, not the bully. Mm-hmm. So I was raised, if you don't have something to say nice, then you don't say anything at all. I've tried to live by that. Like I said, I'm working hard for this. I want to give back to West Virginia. West Virginia has been great to me and to my family. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to accomplish. It's been tough. It's hard when someone's calling you names every day to not say something back. but we need to stay laser focused on what we're here for. And that, in the end, is to build a better West Virginia for all of our constituents, for our families, for our children, and move West Virginia forward in the right direction.
Mike Jarrouj is a candidate for state senate in District 17, and just a couple of more days left.
A couple more days left, yeah. Yeah, it'll be behind us.
If you win, and of course you still got to advance, to the
Right.
to the general.
Mhm.
What's it going to feel like if you win on election night? What's it going to feel like if you lose?
It's going to, I mean, everybody wants to win. So, if you win, it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose, well, not so great. But, my wife asked me in the beginning of this, she says, what is the date? What does May 13th look like? 9 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? I said, I'm prepping for lunch down in my restaurant. And if you lose, what does it look like? I'm prepping for lunch down in my restaurant. So we're going to keep living life. We're going to keep doing, what we do. Either way, win, lose, or draw, we got to hope for the best. We hope to win. We hope to be able to do our part for West Virginia and move West Virginia forward. If we lose, we'll be back.
All right. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It is 2:19. It's Metro News Midday. We'll take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Welcome back to the show, 223. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Again, Open Line West Virginia, coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. West Virginia's on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story, wvenrich.com. A video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank. Proud to be investing in the future of West Virginia. We talked about the amount of money that's been spent on this election. And TJ, I never met a spreadsheet I didn't like. Meadows has been keeping a close eye on all this, and he was listening. And he just texted me, just shy of $5 million as of the close of business yesterday among 7 PACs. Now, let that sink in for a moment. In a state of West Virginia, relatively small state, off-year election, voter turnout for the primary probably, I think we'll be doing good to get to 20%. $5 million has been spent. And look, full disclosure, we sell advertising here. So I ain't turning it down. We can't legally turn it down if we wanted to. That's not the way it works, okay? But it does beg the question, why is there such an emphasis here? Now, look, I was reading an article last night. Some of these, the PACs, some of the big names that are part of these are spending money in other states too. So don't think West Virginia is the only one. But still, in a Republican primary, I mean, I am old enough to remember, as you are too, it was just 12 years or so ago that the Democrats had a strong, firm grip on the state of West Virginia. When I was growing up, as a kid of a boy, growing up in Logan County, we didn't have enough Republicans to be poll workers, okay? The elections were over in the primarily they were, no pun intended. That's local races were pretty much decided then. And 2014, the momentum changed, and the supermajority begat the super duper majority, begat, whatever. And by the way, there is, with all due respect, there's no sign that's going to end anytime soon, that aspect of it. And so what you have is this fracturing, if you will, of the parties. I don't know that there were a lot of moderate Republicans. I mean, there were a few in the legislature over the last few years. It's like now in the Republican Party, it's become a race to see who can outright the other. And I'm using right in air quotes. If you're watching on Metro News Television, here's the actual quotes. That's what it's become. I am more right-wing than you are. I am more Trumpian than you are. And look at what's gone out in your mailbox. Look what you've seen online or on television. Listen to what you hear on radio ads. Everybody, wrapping themselves around Donald Trump. And look, as somebody who spent time in the political realm and worked on some campaigns in the past and did some different promotions and social media for long before I started this job. All right. I get it. You wrap yourself around the things that are popular. In the state of West Virginia, you can't use the flying WV, but you can have somebody possibly endorse you who is associated with, or was at one time with the West Virginia University Mountaineers, because we don't have a pro sports team, so everything's wet. I get it. You wrap yourself around the popular things. But at some point, this is me just editorializing, when do we get back to normal? Because last night I had people texting me the flyers that they're getting, throwing out the words tranny and again, alleging, darkening people's skin to make them look darker than they are. Referring, saying somehow that one candidate, because he has adopted black children, somehow supports the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole. I don't know how we get beyond that, but more importantly, as someone who at one time was a registered Republican and held executive leadership within the Republican Party in a particular county, I don't know how you get beyond this. I really don't, because at the end, this is not going to, in my opinion, and I hope I'm wrong. In my opinion, though, by the time that May 13th rolls around, I don't think this is going to be everybody sitting down around the table, having a beer, having a cup of coffee, having a conversation, going, hey, great fight. I don't see it happening. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a pessimist. I hope I am wrong, because I like everybody to get along. Just saying. My father used to say, these are the times that try the hearts of men. Coming up on 2:30, it's Open Line West Virginia after the bottom of the hour break. It's Metro News Midday. And now we'll go to the
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century. Happy Thursday, everyone, and thanks for checking in. Meteorologist Todd Nelson here, and we'll continue to see some gradual cooling, though we can't rule out a spotty shower into the afternoon as we still have some cooler air aloft. But warmer sunshine into Friday. Rain chances do continue this upcoming weekend and also into the middle part of next week. So that cool front that we had earlier this week has shifted east. But again, there are those isolated showers that may be developing. Gradual clearing, though, as we head into our Friday, other than maybe a couple of showers over the northern portions of the Panhandle. The cooler air will still be with us through the remainder of the week, and we do warm up more so into next week. Time now for a Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home, and New York dealing with some of that same cool air into the 60s, but Chicago is going to be up to near the mid-70s by Saturday. That's the warmth that'll start to build in as we approach this upcoming weekend and beyond. So over the next couple of days through 7 p.m. Saturday, Panhandle might see a quarter of an inch of rain. Temperatures on Thursday into the 50s and 60s. Again, can't rule out some isolated showers into the afternoon. As we head east, much lighter amounts of rain. Pawpaw around 6/100ths of an inch. In Charlestown, less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. 50s and 60s for those daytime highs. And as we travel to the south and west, again, generally around 1/10 of an inch or less of total precipitation. Spencer 65, Middlebourne will be at 63, Harrisville at 63 degrees, and Clarksburg at 63. Farther south yet, rainfall tallies looking even lighter through that Saturday time period. Pineville will be at 65, some isolated showers into the afternoon. And Friday's looking drier and warmer, but here comes some additional rain chances on Saturday and Sunday, maybe even a rumble of thunder, and then we cool off a little more Monday, Tuesday.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you I was a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
USaging.org.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. Thursday afternoon, 26 away from 3 o'clock. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Again, keep talking about the election. Election day is Tuesday. Early voting continues through Saturday. Want to invite you to join us for the best coverage around on Metro News stations, online, WVMetroNews.com, and on Metro News Television as well. Be a good time to download the Metro News Television app if you haven't already, because election night, Jeff Jenkins, Dave Wilson, TJ Meadows, Daniel Woods, Morgan Pemberton, Jack Carlson, myself, others all around the state of West Virginia, 55 county courthouses. We are in every one, or wherever it is that they tabulate the votes. Usually it's a county courthouse. Some counties it's like a community center. So wherever the votes are counted, we will be there, and we'll have the coverage that you need. Starting 7:06 on 7 o'clock. Yes, radio time, 7:06 on that Tuesday night. And a reminder that early voting continues in West Virginia, and that will be going on through Saturday. Also a reminder that tomorrow is Friday, which means that's when we put another wonderful food establishment on the spotlight. We call it the Lunch Spot. Drop us an email. Nominate your place. Midday at WVMetroNews.com. It's midday at WVMetroNews.com. Reach out to Amanda or myself on social media. Dave Allen Radio and Facebook at DaveA70 on X. That's how you get me on the X machine. I just suddenly was channeling ZZ Top. I heard it on the X. But anyway, get us some information. All we need basically is why you think it's a good place. If you can give us a manager, owner, that'd be helpful. And some of your favorite things on the menu. Drop us an email, midday at WVMetroNews.com, or reach out to us on social media. Let's get to the text. Phone calls are always welcome, too. On Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says, maybe the ambulance checking on TJ can also check on Southern Dave, because he called Northern Dave esteemed. Something isn't right at the Radio Ranch. That was a mistake on my part. I had Wilson on during the 12 o'clock hour. I did not mean to call him the esteemed Dave Wilson. I don't know what I was thinking. He sent me a text. I'm not going to read it on the air because I don't want to lose my job. Just so you know what kind of guy Wilson is. Prior to his check-in with us at 12:20-ish, he's up at the Morgantown studios. He sends me a text, and it says something to the effect of, I am ready to go, blank. And he called me a not nice word. I'm just saying. Don't make me get HR involved in this, Wilson. But yeah, I did refer to him as the esteemed Dave. He's Northern Dave. I'm Southern Dave. Text, voter confusion is voter suppression, ? There was voter disinformation circulating, ? The Wild West and elections here, ? Come on, Natalie Tennant. She's a hyper-partisan fear-monger, says a texter. Text says, another day, more Republicans eating themselves alive, and I'm all here for it, says a texter. Text, how much money do poll workers get for 16 hours of work? It varies around the state of West Virginia. $150, $200 is what it can be. It can be a long day if you're a poll worker because, again, polls are open 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., and which usually entails you arriving at like 5:30 a.m. and probably leaving 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes sooner. I will tell you that there was a move on a couple of years ago when I was involved in elections in the Secretary of State's office to try to get more people to be poll workers simply because a lot of folks just don't want to do it. The older folks just are getting tired. We have people work the polls 60 years or more in the state of West Virginia. Try to get young people in. And one of my jobs was I would go into schools and talk to the youngins, the Utes, as Rush Limbaugh would say, about becoming poll workers. And now they can be under the voting age to be a poll worker, or at least to be an assistant or to learn with the new law passed by the legislature. But you look at as I was looking at a high school kid going, hey, you make $200 a day to be a poll worker. And they're like, yeah, sign me up. But then we tell them, yeah, you gotta put your phone aside because you're not supposed to have the telephone. You can't have the cell phone at least you shouldn't. You can go out and check a message or a voicemail, but you can't be on on the one of them TikTok machines or whatever it is the kids do now. So that automatically made many of them go, yeah, not doing it. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, no one ever said the governor can't speak about anything he wants or who he can endorse. We just want him to tell the truth about it. Well, I think he's been pretty truthful. I don't know what the text is referring to, but he's been pretty truthful in who he's endorsing. And look, he said in an event yesterday that he has First Amendment rights, and he name-dropped Shelley Moore Capito, and he name-dropped Senator Tom Takubo, and I said it before, the governor has every right to do this. It's unusual, in my opinion, but he's got every right to do it. I just wonder what the fallout's going to be if some of the candidates that he endorses don't win. Just saying, but he didn't ask my opinion. Text, I, too, would like to see Capito out of office, but the two guys running against her simply aren't the ones to do it. The Republican Party needs better candidates. Well, I would say, appreciate the text, that the leadership of the Republican Party is pretty happy with Senator Shelley Moore Capito. I mean, I don't know. I'm not part of it, but I'm just saying I'd say they're probably pretty happy. Text says, do you libs think any president's going to tell the whole world what we're doing with the war? Get real, says the texter. Text, why are Republicans so afraid of trans and gay people? I have a theory that's because many of them are sexually repressed, says the texter. I probably shouldn't touch that one, but I will say that anytime that I hear somebody vehemently speaking out against something so passionately, it does make you wonder. Just saying. Text says, hard to justify 5:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. for $200. They're going to have to raise that to get young people to exchange 16 hours of their time and money, says a texter. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text, it's Thursday, May 7th, and the potholes around the capital city remain unfilled. What's the deal, Pat? Too busy laying in bed without state money? Well, the crews are out, I can tell you, because people were complaining about the crews being out earlier today here in Charleston. I think they were complaining about the timing more than anything else, because I was on the local show in Charleston, and it was I was in the building, so I didn't look at a traffic camera, but I will say that it was pretty rough going in the Charleston area anyway. But yeah. Text says, hopefully the state mows the medians around Charleston before foam at the dome. People will think the city's growing hay on 7th Avenue in McCorkle if they come in those ways, says a texter. Text says, Bobby Pruitt doing radio ads for Raleigh and Wyoming County State Senate race does not and has not lived here for years. What a joke. He could not pick the candidates out of a lineup. Text, Republicans may differ on certain issues, but we will unite against the radical left come November. Mark my words. Well, I think you got to get through the radical right first. That's just my opinion. Let me see here. Text, I got a lot to get to here. Text says money isn't good enough for them to put their phones down for 16 hours. Maybe that's the rate they need. How much will get the youths to put their, how much will it take? I think they left out a word. How much would it take to get the youths to put their phone down for 16 hours? I've read articles like that where they say how much, would it get? And I'm looking, it's not just the youth. It's not just the youth, but how much would it take to get you to get off social media for a day? Text says, well, Epstein's alleged suicide note has been released. It's about time for the Epstein files to come back in front of the news. Remember that guy, Donald Trump's best friend, Jeff Epstein, ? The child molester who was let off with a lenient sentence by current and former Trump administration officials. Text, the station had a guy on one of the news commercial snippets saying high gas prices won't stop his traveling and he'll work more if needed. Well, in my opinion, that's the problem with our economy and why everything will continue to get more expensive. People have FOMO, will spend more money and will work more so they don't miss out, and companies will continue to raise prices because people don't know how to go without. Those of us who are frugal get dragged down by the FOMO spenders, says the texter. Text, keep putting your campaign signs on my property and I'll keep tearing them down. I can't vote for most of these people anyway. I'm an independent, says a texter. 2:44, overdue for a break. We're back after this.
A degree from Marshall University isn't simply a career path. It's a trust, an opportunity to inhabit the moments that change lives, to make connections that make a difference. With the opportunities of a larger school and the intimate nature usually reserved for one much smaller, you'll find your people, your passion, and yourself at Marshall, all while experiencing the moments that will shape the rest of your life. In person, online, or a mixture of both, join us today. Your moment awaits at Marshall University.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you I was a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Control and prevention.
Welcome back to the show. 12 away from 3 on a Thursday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. It's open line West Virginia. 1-800-765-TALK is a phone number. Text 304-TALK, 304 Texas. I think my favorite thing about the radio stations, listening to the radio personalities attempting to pronounce names that aren't basic American white folk names. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. Text says, I always look forward to this time of year because I collect mailbox flyers, and I almost have enough to get me through the coming winter. They make excellent fire starters, says the texter. Text, one has to wonder why all these out-of-state groups are spending millions of dollars to get people elected to a job that pays $20,000 a year, as you said. Get real, says the texter. Text, what was that word? Did you say Utes? What is a Ute? That was a term that the late, great Rush Limbaugh used. I steal from Rush because if it weren't for Rush Limbaugh, many of us, whether you liked him or didn't like him, if it weren't for many of us, or weren't for him, many of us wouldn't be doing what we're doing now. He referred to the youth as the Utes. Don't know why he did it. That's just what he did. Let's go to the phones, and RW, I think, is on the line. Go ahead, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to let you know that the PAC stupidity does not exist only for partisan races. Today's mail, I received a flyer supported by candidates endorsed by Education West Virginia, the Almost Heaven Action PAC, and strange, it kind of puts Gerald Titus in Kanawha County, Kanawah, and the three individuals from Beckley who are running for the Supreme Court, two of them are in Raleigh County, but the other one is in Ohio County. I didn't know we had two Beckleys in West Virginia, one in the northern panhandle, but I thought it kind of goes hand in hand, unfortunately, with the underhanded tactics that are coming out against Tom Takubo and Dr. Eschnauer and Mike Jarrouj, that, everybody's got to throw somebody under the bus, whether they're on the street where the bus is running or not.
All right. Well, I appreciate your input, sir. And yes, there are two Beckleys. They just don't talk about the other one as much. They kind of keep it on the down low.
Well, are there two Logans?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding about that.
I know you're just kidding. I know you're just kidding. That's why I said, are there two Logans? Because I don't think the world would be ready for that.
I don't think the world is ready for that. I don't. Now, we don't have enough cousins to go around. I appreciate it, my friend. Thanks a lot. It's 252. Text says, Dave, regarding the $5 million-ish out of state political PAC spending in West Virginia for this year's primary, do we know how much that is in comparison to Trump presidential years? TJ, where you at? Or where are you, I should say. My English teacher wouldn't be happy me saying where you at. Where are you? Text says, what's sad is our churches are campaigning inside the sanctuary. Is that a First Amendment right? No, it's against the law. No, it's not against the law. It may not make God happy. I mean, I don't know, but no, it's not against the law. It's not against the law. Text, that's something. If you support Trump, you have First Amendment rights. If you don't have First Amendment rights. That's the truth. Fact check. Well, I will say this. People only want First Amendment rights when it's something they agree with, and that is across the board. Text, where's the people's money that's in the rainy day fund? Why hasn't it been used for emergency to do away with the gas tax? It's our money, not theirs. Text, Dave, I see where West Virginia gets 25% more federal funds than we pay, in one of the highest in the nation. Text, Dave, can Capito explain where the $2 billion has gone that Biden allocated for our state's infrastructure, green energy, and for coal communities? It's gone. We'd like it returned, says the texter. Text, Department of Highways already indicated they are only mowing their easements and now row two times this year. I think it meant mow. Only in the spring and once in the fall, so we're doomed. Text, Preston County has proposed a $90 per year user fee for EMS services. Problem is roads like where I live off of can't be accessed to most of the year for trash and mail, so my family will not be able to get any medical services if needed, yet forced to pay this fee. This goes for roughly 15% of Preston County residents. Text, pretty sure the Utes term is a reference to the movie My Cousin Vinny, Dave. Come on now. I have seen My Cousin Vinny when it first came out, but I did not recall that line. Text the two Utes, My Cousin Vinny. Joe Pesci was the lawyer. Fred Gwynn was the judge. Fred Gwynn, also known as Herman Munster. Text says, don't churches lose their tax-exempt status if they allow participating in political campaigning? Look into it. I'm not sure. We'll take a break. Be back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. A couple of minutes away from closing it out. I got some breaking news here, and you're going to be hearing more about this on the network and on WVMetroNews.com. I've been given some information that in the John Lucas case, the grand jury has returned an indictment. on the ambulance case, and the prosecuting attorney and others expected to hold a press conference in Charleston at 3:30 this afternoon. We, of course, will have more on that. But again, everybody, this has been big news, not only in Charleston but around the state. This was the gentleman that was struck and killed by an ambulance in Kanawha County. There's been vigils and hashtag Justice for John, so on and so forth. Everybody's been waiting on what's going to happen next. Well, I understand, been given information that the prosecuting attorney is going to have a press conference at 3:30, and it appears a grand jury has returned an indictment in that case. WVMetroNews.com will have the breaking news on air. Mr. Weekly is here.
Who's on at 3:30? What goes on the network at 3:30?
News, usually.
What about me?
Okay. What about you? What you got on the big show today?
Well, we're talking about your hobbies.
Okay.
Talking about your hobbies. What's a sophisticated, quote-unquote, sophisticated hobby or interest you have that your friends would never guess?
My friends would never guess I had a sophisticated hobby. I can tell you that right now. All right, that's coming up on Hotline and Me, the same stations. I'll be back tomorrow for Metro News Midday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.